in right now to this next AB.
Well, you can guarantee if there is a dog in the stadium, we are going to find it. Charlie, as we've called him, Jess Schoenfeld's cousin, a big supporter, a big fan of Jess Schoenfeld. And you're exactly right, Tiffany. I know he would love to see Jess execute here.
She may be called upon, as she showed in that first pitch, to lay down the sacrifice bunt. She's gotten a hit already in this tournament. Can she sacrifice her teammate Brooke DeWitt over? DeWitt's like, I'm just going to take second base here.
DeWitt showing off the speed over on first base. Sammy Kolwicki looked like she popped up out of the squat just a little bit too soon, so that ball skipped away and allowed DeWitt to move on over into scoring position.
So the battery looks to the dugout, has the sign, pitch on the way from Strecker, and good stop in front. Picking it up is Kolwicki behind the plate.
It's a good adjustment going down, making sure that that ball did not get past her. Schoenfeld here with a really good opportunity to try to get the scoring started.
Strike there to the very talented hula hooper. And Charlie, he's just waiting. I think you all were educating me. That's a mini golden doodle.
Yes, mini golden doodle.
That one going foul over the head of Dittmer. Many folks fans of the golden doodle or the doodle family because of the lack of shedding.
Yes, and they're very fluffy. They like to give snuggles. We know Amanda Scarborough is a big fan of all types of dogs.
Oh, but she's got her own, what, like Labradoodle or Golden Doodle, something
I
of
think
that
one
variety.
of each. I believe it's one of each.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm getting up on this, and you know what? This must-win situation for New Jersey. You know Amanda Scarborough is going to want to see Charlie in the stands come Monday. Popped up behind home plate and foul. Well, good at bat here from Jess Schoenfeld. And she strikes out Ellie Strecker with her second strikeout of this early game.
That was a great battle by Jess Schoenfeld, fouling off a ton of pitches. And Ellie Strecker decides to go with the off speed on this one, and it's very deceptive because it's not a super slow change, but it just drops in velocity enough to get a lot of batters well out in front of it.
And good pitch, first strike there to Gabby Sable. Sable, who plays first base. Her father, Mike, is the manager. And Sable, who hopes to one day become a police officer. I think her dad may have rubbed off on her there as a retired New Jersey state trooper. That one high and over the glove of Kolwicki. And so Brooke DeWitt now 60 feet closer to scoring the first run for New Jersey.
Really heads up base running there by DeWitt, noticing that one tipping off of the glove of Kolwicki back behind the plate, taking advantage of any opportunity that she's given.
This one put on the ground. Tough hop there from Cunningham, but the run comes in to score as DeWitt tags home 1-0 New Jersey.
Really nice execution there by Gabby Sable to hit that ball to the right side of the infield, knowing that her teammate was over there on third base. She hits this one just hard enough to where Riley Cunningham has no choice but to get the out over at first, and that's the first run across the board here in this game.
So base is clear for Ryan Pinzone, and trotting out of the dugout, perhaps we'll see a change already in a substitution for New Jersey as Izzy Ginn looks to have come out. And we could see this pinch hitter in just a second. There's Izzy Ginn. Delighted to have made this all-star team and picking up some pretty cool experience along the way. We've heard so much about the young ladies and what they do off the field. Here on the field, she grounds it over to second base, and that ends the inning. But the RBI ground out by Gabby Sable scores Brooke DeWitt, and it's 1-0 New Jersey. And later today, for Jessica Mendoza, we mentioned Indiana, New Jersey, thirsty for their first win.
Oh, these teams here have just been phenomenal. We've seen great softball all week long, and I know that it's only going to get better from here on out. And I loved reading through the questionnaires and how many of these young athletes still look up to players like Jenny Finch and Jessica Mendoza, not necessarily just for what they did on the field, but for what they do off the field and how they give back to the sport of softball and grow the sport across the nation.
All-Americans, Jessica Mendoza at Stanford, terrific hitter. Jenny Finch was one of the toughest pitchers you would face in this circle, coming out of the University of Arizona. Aaliyah O'Neal, she started this ball game with a couple of balls. Since then, 18 of the last 20 have been strikes. Isabella Canar sees a 1-1 count now. Issa standing at 5'8". Very good defender. Right back and popped and lined out to O'Neal.
A nice pitch by O'Neal, a great swing by Canar, and a great catch by O'Neal. Just an all-around solid play, a changeup out of the hand of O'Neal, and a nice job by Canar to sit back on it, drive it right back up the middle, and you can see her reaction. She's like, man, I just hit that one solid, just happened to go right back to the pitcher.
Sammy Kolwicki, the catcher, standing in the 9th spot. O'Neal looks in. "12-year-old Sammy Kolwicki, really hard-nosed type player, going up and chasing that one, and the strikeout, the third of the game for O'Neal.
Tiffany, I think it's great that we're seeing this quick pace of play out of O'Neal early. That tells you that she's really in a rhythm out there. She's found her groove. This one going up in the zone with the rise ball to get her third strikeout on the afternoon.
And one of the reasons why we saw a lot of success in that first game for both Haley Arvidsson and Kennedy Watson was the fact that they threw a lot of first pitch strikes. And so Aaliyah O'Neal doing the very same in the circle. That one up the middle, the 2-out single at the top of the order for Riley Cunningham.
And as a batter, one adjustment you can make when you know that a pitcher is being very efficient with their pitches, getting ahead in the count, is being aggressive early, attacking the first good pitch that you see, and that's exactly what Riley Cunningham does on this pitch, driving it right back up the middle to try to get something going for Indiana.
Tess Bradford tracks it. Cunningham taken off to second base, the throw not in time. And Riley Cunningham moves into scoring position.
Aggressive base running, trying to do whatever she can to advance those 60 feet. Gets a good jump over at first, able to slide in safely. A nice throw back there by Schoenfeld. She even hesitated just for a second, waiting for Maura Halpin to get over to second. But that throw was right on the money, just a tad bit too late.
Bradford, who singled her first time up, can drive home the run and tie up this ball game. And you mentioned it, Madison, the fact that there just seems to be an extra jolt of energy for really both of these teams, but Indiana also moving at a nice pace and finding better success at the plate.
And I want to say that they're feeding off of the fans in the stands. We can hear the fans being very loud, very excited here today. And both of these teams in a really good groove, a good rhythm out there on the field.
Here at Stallings Stadium at Elm Street Park, celebrating their 70th anniversary. Opened back in 1951. And Greenville thus far has been a great host, and we know Carolinas like their Greenvilles. This is Greenville, North Carolina. In the Tidewater coastal plain area of the state. Popped up in the infield, giving charge and to her knees, but making the catch is Maura Halpin.
That's a great defensive play to get your team back into the...
Watching softball action live and in person. 8-9 due up before we go back to the top of the order for Robbinsville. Idris Cepeda fouls that one off. Cepeda, who's in search of her first hit of this tournament. Quick hands as we welcome in the new viewers into the Little League Softball World Series. We start off the bottom of the third inning with Idris Cepeda able to make it to first base safely. New Jersey and Indiana, both teams in search of their first win of the tournament. Madison Shipman, Tiffany Green along here with you.
We just continue to see New Jersey being aggressive. Cepeda putting this ball in play, and Riley Cunningham makes a nice defensive stop on it, firing it over to first, but Dittmer just not able to hang on to it. And a leadoff runner on board for New Jersey.
We saw them lead off last inning with a single. Brooke DeWitt would come home to score off the RBI ground out by Gabby Sable to put up the only run of the ball game. Robbinsville Little League, the runners-up out of the East region. Indiana, runners-up from the Central region. This one bounced, got away from Colwick. He tries to make the throw to second, not in time. And Cepeda now in scoring position for New Jersey.
Colwicky has a really strong arm back there behind the plate. We've seen her make a couple of nice throws down to second, just not quite there in time. It looked like a changeup out of the hand of Ellie Strecker as well, going down into the dirt. And nice aggressive base running yet again that we're seeing out of New Jersey to move into scoring position.
That one, foul ball. Urini, who is a big New York Yankees fan.
Urini turning to lay down a sacrifice bunt here, and you can see it pop up and hit her right there in the stomach, but because both of her feet were still in the batter's box when it hit her, that's why home plate umpire ruled that one a foul ball, and the correct call in my book.
This volunteer blue crew with us all week from Eastern North Carolina, as Jeremiah Westerfield, the manager for Indiana, coming out to have a quick conversation with the home plate umpire. And what's something that we've seen that's new to the World Series this year is the fact that there are plays that are now reviewable, so instituting instant replay. And Charles Shavola behind the plate will look this over again and talk with the folks in
Yeah.
Williamsport.
When I'm looking at that view right there, it looks like it's hitting her when she's still in the box, even though she had started running down towards first base. I still think she's in there when that ball hits her right there on the stomach.
You see, she lifted that right leg as she was preparing to run, but as long as she's in the box and it hits her, she's okay. It's just a foul ball, and they're just looking it over.
I think for both of these coaches, you know, on both sides, you've got the video replay opportunity, so you might as well use it, especially in this situation. A must-win game for New Jersey. Indiana still trying to get their offense going, but a runner into scoring position.
And so the call will stand as is. So the count 1-2. And Pierini still has an opportunity at the plate.
You're exactly right, Tiffany. Even though Pierini wasn't able to get down the sacrifice bunt, she still has an opportunity here to maybe hit the ball back behind the runner over at second base. Just taking a look at the video replay that they've implemented into the World Series this year. Managers have unlimited successful challenges throughout the game.
This one low and scooped up by Colwicky. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've seen New Jersey's offense pick up over the last couple of games. This one, the chopper over to shortstop. The throw just in time, and Tess Bradford gets the first out.
That ground ball over to Tess Bradford at shortstop is just as good as a sacrifice bunt in this situation. Great base running again over there by Cepeda to avoid the fielder, make her way over to third base. A productive out by Pierini to move her teammate 60 feet closer to scoring.
And now we will see a pinch hitter coming to the plate for Moral Halpin. Jordan Grosky will get her chance. Grosky, who had a hit yesterday, went 1 for 3 in that loss to North Carolina, but she's got a runner in Adri Cepeda standing on third base 60 feet closer to home. And Grotsky, first pitch swinging into the opposite field, does her job. Coming off the bench, the RBI single, 2-0 New Jersey.
Jordan Grotsky wasting absolutely no time. Her team calls upon her to come up and get this ball into the outfield, and she does exactly that, taking this outside pitch right down the right field line to allow her teammate to score easily from third base and extend their lead here in the bottom of the third inning.
Aaliyah O'Neill, the pitcher in the circle for New Jersey, now standing in at the plate with the runner at first and just 1 out. It's pitcher versus pitcher. O'Neill for New Jersey. Strecker, Ellie Strecker for Indiana. 2 balls, no strikes to O'Neill. Out of Hamilton, New Jersey, standing at 5'1", looking up to many of the girls in the collegiate game, many of whom we've heard from so far during this Little League Softball World Series. They like to call O'Neill Baby Bryn for Bryn Hopkins, who played on that 2016 Little League Softball World Series team for this Robbinsville Little League group. And smacked over to Riley Cunningham at second base, still able to collect herself and get the lead runner at second. So way to recover by the second baseman.
Aaliyah O'Neill smacked this ball over to Riley Cunningham at second base, who does a nice job of getting her feet in front, and because it bounces off of her arm, she's still able to get up, recover, and flip that ball over to Tess Bradford, who's there waiting on it to get that lead runner out at second base. A really tough play that we just saw out of Cunningham. A lot of times if it doesn't go into your glove immediately, you want to just give up on it or watch it go by, but Cunningham showing that fighting, competitive mentality over there at second base, able to finish that play and get another out in this inning.
And that's what's been a joy to see, the never give up attitude, always continuing to push through from all of the 10 teams here. That one sharply hit over the shortstop, and that ends the inning. Lopez is retired, but not before Jordan Grodsky coming up with a pinch hit RBI. Those players able to take it out of the park, 3-run homer to help her team come back to win. They're on a 3-game win streak. And then Erica Figge, you've got to find a way to keep her off base, because once she gets on, she's going to take off a number of stolen bases as well. So those are some of the bats to watch here from the Little League Softball World Series. Meanwhile, Aaliyah O'Neal, her numbers thus far, remember, she's one of 3 pitchers who has thrown every pitch thus far since being in Greenville, and given up just 2 hits but no 1 runs and 3 Ks.
I've just truly been impressed with how efficient Aaliyah O'Neal has been in the circle, getting ahead of batters, moving the ball all throughout the zone, and it's those 0 walks that I'm seeing up there on the board. She's only got 3 strikeouts, but that's because she has so much confidence in the defense behind her that they're going to make big-time plays.
Well, Ainsley Watt, a pinch hitter, now up to bat for Indiana. Everyone gets an opportunity to play. That's what's so great about Little League, for them to experience being on this big stage. Zionsville, Indiana, really proud of this group, how far they have come. They've watched this Little League program continue to grow and soar. And Watt is retired, swing and a miss there for another strikeout for O'Neal.
O'Neal just continuing that trend of getting ahead of these Indiana batters, using that curveball outside, and then this one decides to go a bit farther up in the zone. So not only is that pitch moving up in the zone, but it's also tailing away from these right-handed batters.
First pitch swinging for Hadley Bray, and Bray is able to leg it out. Tough to gather for Brooke DeWitt over at second base, and a base runner aboard now for Zionsville Little League.
Hadley Bray, knowing that Aaliyah O'Neal likes to get ahead in the count, is aggressive early in this at-bat, hitting it over to Brooke DeWitt at shortstop, who bobbles it just slightly, and that allows Bray to reach base safely on that infield ground ball.
You'll see a number of times throughout Little League play the substitutions, as we mentioned, being made for everyone to get their turn. And Kate Skura is currently waiting.
Pinch hitting number 8, Kate Skura.
And they call on number 8 right here for Indiana. Skirt is her nickname. And there, she's able to lift one in to shallow right field. Now runners at first and second. And here comes Indiana.
You gotta love the big smile on the face of Kate Skura over there at first base. And sometimes it takes a little bit of new blood in the lineup. Somebody coming up off of the bench, attacking a pitch that she likes early in the count, and driving that one opposite field into right field to continue this rally now for Indiana.
Well, one of the things that we had talked about was the fact, and Jeremiah Westerfield, the manager for Indiana, knew that their bats just needed to get going. They had only collected 4 hits through their first 2 games, and they needed to see more production from their lineup, and they're getting it right now. Skura, as we mentioned, coming off the bench and getting the base hit. Caroline Westerfield inserted back into the ball game. She's the pinch runner at second base.
Well, I like that we're seeing production from a bunch of different spots in the order. We mentioned that they kind of got their bats going against Nevada, able to put up 3 runs, but 2 of those runs came from Anna Cope, so it came from the same person. So really trying to mix it up, get that production 1 through 9 in the lineup.
And Jenna Dittmer, the first baseman, can drive home a run. She awaits the pitch, swing it away and foul. Not only is she a very good softball player, but also an elite travel volleyball player as well.
Several multi-sport athletes that we've seen throughout this World Series. And I think it's great for all-around athleticism for these young ladies to play as many sports as they want to.
In an age where you're specializing in sports, just the lessons you learn, the muscles you use, the relationships you build across multiple sports, invaluable. Swing and a miss there by Dittmer. Now 2-2 in the count. Important pitch for Aaliyah O'Neill in the top of the 4th with Indiana threatening. Already with 3 strikeouts. Got a piece of that one. Excuse me, 4 strikeouts for O'Neill.
I like the adjustment that Dittmer made on that swing, noticing that O'Neill liked to use that curveball, moving away from her. She decided to crowd the plate, put her toes right on that chalk line. That's why she was able to get a piece of that one.
You saw Schoenfeld just standing up there, ball high. It's 3-2 now. We mentioned very humid in Greenville. We've seen about 50% plus humidity each day. O'Neill. And fouled away.
And we did have some cloud cover to start this game. We didn't see the pitchers having to reach down to the dirt quite as much, but as this game has gone on, it has gotten a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid. You can see O'Neill making those adjustments she needs to in the circle.
Gets her swinging. 5th strikeout for Aaliyah O'Neill, and that one comes at a good time. Now 2 down.
Jenna Dittmer with a really great at-bat, fouling off a ton of pitches, and O'Neill decides to go with the rise ball. We've said her bread and butter is that curveball or that fastball outside. This one going up and underneath the hands of the right-handed Jenna Dittmer for her 5th strikeout on the afternoon.
And now the pitcher, Ellie Strecker, standing at 6'1" in the batter's box. Right now on this big stage, you know that she would love an opportunity to drive and a run. She already had home runs this season en route to the World Series. Father Steve Strecker, who was deceased, was a big part of this Zionsville Little League success. He helped get this program started.
Looks like our home plate umpire is making sure that whenever Aaliyah O'Neill does go down to grab the dirt from the ground, that she wipes off her hand on her pants before she goes to the ball. So you can't go straight from the dirt to the ball.
The 3-1 pitch on the way from O'Neill. And Strecker lifts it into right field, and Cepeda is there. 2 runners left stranded for Indiana, but Aaliyah O'Neal looking tough in the circle. Let's take this time in and relish. And thank you to both Kona Ice and Simply Natural Creamery. You know, this is the only all-in-one dairy in Eastern North Carolina. They were the ones who delivered these banana splits to us, and everyone is taking advantage of staying cool out here today. First pitch swinging, and the base hit for New Jersey to lead things off. That's Brooke DeWitt.
Well, Brooke DeWitt's feeling these sweet dessert vibes in her at-bat that we are sending down to the field from the booth. Aggressive in her at-bat, driving that thing out into the outfield to get something going in the bottom of the 4th.
Because just having one is not enough. You need more. You see, there was an individualized approach from our broadcast partners, Jenny Dalton-Hill and Matt Schick, as DeWitt takes off to second base in safely. They had it one at a time.
Yes, they were just doing one at a time. And we said, you know what, if we're going to do it, we're doing it big.
That's right.
So
go
we are
big or go
double fisting with the desserts currently, and I am loving every single second of it.
Please forgive us in the event that we're tripped up in calling some, because this is just absolutely delicious. The chopper over to third base, and Schoenfeld is thrown out, but DeWitt wisely moves to third on the throw.
It's a good defensive play by Hadley Bray over at third base as well. She fielded that one, took a look at Brooke DeWitt over at second base, but knew she needed to get an out. She had to fire it across to first base, and because of that long throw, Brooke DeWitt able to move safely on over into third base.
Gabby Sable, who drove in the first run on an RBI ground out, and here she is again in another great position, swinging. You talked about the great play, and how about Hadley Bray at third?
Hadley Bray with a big smile on her face. This is a huge out in this inning, right as New Jersey started to get some of that momentum. Hadley Bray says, not in my house. What a great jump she gets on that one, and I love how immediately she turns to see if she can get the next out at third base.
And this one gets past Colwicky to throw at the plate, and she's out! Way to recover! Indiana's defense has been stellar leading up to this point, coming into the World Series, and a big...
Only talking to Coach Westerfield about Steve Strecker, but just reading up about it and just how dedicated he was. And they even said that after a rain would come through the city, he would go out to the field with a shop vac and try to dry up the field as quickly as possible, because he wanted to make the field and softball just as much of a great experience as he possibly could for all of these young ladies out there.
To love something that much, I know for someone like yourself who's played the game of softball at some of the highest levels, to think about that give back, because you want others to feel the love that you feel. It's a beautiful thing.
And just to grow the game, and just how proud all of these young ladies are to represent their hometown, to represent their community that has really rallied behind this softball thing, or the softball team, I think is something that's truly special about this Indiana squad.
And Stump laying down the bunt, and Stump is going to be aboard safely at first base. So Allie Stump, the pinch hitter, reaches on the air.
Allie Stump coming in and making something happen, laying down the sneaky bunt over to Lexi Lopez at third base, who's just not able to get that throw up enough. And that could be the spark that Indiana needs to get some runs on the board.
Flash, a.k.a. Riley Cunningham, at the plate. She singled her last time up. Outstanding soccer player as well, playing on the National Select Circuit. Plays for the Indiana Fire. But right now, her mind totally focused with Zionsville Little League. Asks for time. Takes a swing and steps in.
Tiffany, it's been interesting here, specifically in the top of the 5th inning, how we've seen the pace of play slow down a little bit, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Aaliyah O'Neal is taking a bit more time out there in the circle, and we do know from talking to her that she said in stressful situations, she makes sure to take a deep breath before she sets foot on that rubber.
This one, dribbler over to second base, is going to be close and out.
A tough play for Halpin over there at second, knowing that Cunningham has so much speed coming from the right side. She hits this one off the end of the bat, a bit of funky spin on it as well, but Halpin able to track that one in and flip it over to her first baseman, Gabby Sable, to record the second out.
Tess Bradford, who has one of Indiana's 3 base hits today. Now standing in, you talked about just how you have to go through a routine. O'Neal with the pitch to Bradford, and Halpin busy over there at second base. The routine ground out, and that ends the inning. So Aaliyah O'Neal sees runners left. Charlie's got his hands up. You know, he wish he could be out on the field if he could play. Do you want to play Little League? It's easy. You just got to visit playlittleleague.org and enter your address to find a Little League program near you. Warning, folks. We see a dog. We love the dog. We will always go back to the dog. Just showing Felt, your cousin. We appreciate Cousin Charlie being here.
Well, you know, just when I'm starting to feel good about my dance moves, then Charlie had to go and show me up.
Bottom of the 5th inning. And New Jersey with that 2-0 lead. And Ryan Pinzone swing and a miss from that pitch from Strecker. Pinzone, good gap hitter. Can put the ball in play. Still looking for a first hit. And she won't get it here as Ellie Strecker strikes her out.
Strecker just getting into a really good rhythm out there in the circle. Great command of every single one of her pitches, and you can just see how tight her spin is on these ones. Great movement on that curveball, moving away from those right-handed batters. So when you see it coming in, it looks like it's going to stay right over the heart of the plate. And at the last minute, tails away from you. And I've been really impressed with her ability to come out and be consistent throughout each one of these innings in today's game.
Ellie Strecker has been busy, and she, again, with the smiles, you love to see it. You know, she pitched a really important game in regional play to help them get right here. And now she just wants to keep the score as is so her team can have a chance to come back. Pinch hitter and popped up out of play by Lucy Caruso. Mario Kart. I remember Mario Kart being around for a little bit.
Now I'm curious which game station she plays that on. I think I just showed my age by calling it a game station. But I used to play it on the Nintendo 64, yes. A great game, a great video game choice though, the Mario Kart, always fun.
The whole Mario family like it. Grounded over to third base and 2 down.
Gotta love the defense by Hadley Bray over there at third base. It's not every day that you see a left-handed third baseman. And for this Indiana team, they'll rotate between Anna Cope, who's also a lefty, and Hadley Bray over there at third. One of the challenges of being left-handed is when you field it, you have to completely turn your body around to make that throw all the way across the diamond. But she's able to make that look easy.
All right. They're making another substitution here. That's the red phone, like that's usually like the line of the president. Sometimes, you know, it's just like the secret when they're in the war room. And Aubrey Sagar coming in for Kiera Perini. First pitch swinging underneath it, and Cunningham ends the inning. One more chance for Indiana. Can they muster up a rally? Find out when we come back. Ball and softball players, kids make the rules, make the lineups and the calls, give them the bats, balls, and field, and just let them play. Learn more today at littleleague.org/Sandlot Fun Days. One of my fave movies, Legends Never Die. Anna Cote, the lefty, leading it off. Here's a pitching comparison between Aaliyah O'Neill and Ellie Strecker, both through 5 innings, giving up just 3 hits, but the 2 runs.
Yeah, it's really been New Jersey's ability to capitalize on a couple of miscues by Indiana. But for Indiana, this is the exact part of the lineup that you want up in this situation. Anna Cope, one of your hottest hitters up at the plate, had a fantastic game in her last outing here in Greenville. And they definitely need a spark here with down to their final 3 outs.
The pitch, and chasing that one, Anna Cope is retired for the first out of the 6th inning.
That's a huge strikeout for Aaliyah O'Neill. Knowing that Anna Cope has been so red hot up at the plate, she just keeps on climbing the ladder with this rise ball, noticing that Cope was being very aggressive on her pitches.
The third baseman, Hadley Bray, who you mentioned throws left-handed but bats from the right side, one of the power hitters for Indiana. She could give him a boost if she's able to let one fly. Very smart young lady, loves math and science, and hopes to go on to be either a doctor or a professional softball player.
I like both of those options. There's a lot of young ladies that want to get into the medical field, which I think is so incredible. Shows you just how smart these young women are.
Right back to O'Neill, the hot shot, and Bray is able to leg it out. It bounces around the infield. And Indiana now with the runner aboard at first after that base hit from Bray.
Looks like the New Jersey infield's going to come in and make sure that Aaliyah O'Neill is okay in the circle. Hadley Bray with such a powerful swing, and it goes right back to O'Neill in the circle. And I'm wondering if it might have gotten one of her fingers when she went in to field that ball.
You feel like you're good?
Ladies, you can go back to your bag.
Okay, she's good.
She's coming to check it out. Go ahead, let her check out. Let her check.
Manager Mike Sable making sure everything is all good. And Aaliyah O'Neill says yes. There's Mike Sable, been managing this team since they were 8 years old. Knows these young ladies exceptionally well.
Those ground balls right back to the pitcher are so tough because they come back so quickly that a lot of times the pitchers don't have a ton of time to react to it coming back. Looks like they're going to give her some practice pitches to make sure that her fingers are indeed okay. And I think we just saw a great example of the fiery, competitive spirit that you're going to see out of Aaliyah O'Neal when she's out there telling everybody, I'm okay, I can do it. Just sticking back to that routine, grabbing some dirt. Going to get right back on that rubber.
One of her fave players, Odyssey Alexander, and we saw just how tough of a cookie she was during that run to the Women's College World Series.
Just the definition of laying it all out on the line. I can't help but think back to that play where she jumped out of the circle to tag, diving tag, get a runner trying to score. She's a young lady that a lot of these players look up to because of that fierce competitiveness that they got to witness at the Women's College World Series.
Kate Skura back at the plate. Remember, she singled in her first appearance back in the 4th.
Hey, Brooke, any more? Let's get the lead out. Brooke, lead out a
We'll
second.
see if she can produce another base hit. Swing and a miss, now down the count, 0-2.
And Kate Skura had that nice base hit out to right field back in the 4th inning. So O'Neal starts her again outside to try to get ahead and then changes things up a little bit, works that fastball on the inside corner to get herself ahead 0-2.
Outside part of the plate, ball 1. Aaliyah O'Neal looks over into the dugout, then to her wristband. Skura over to that right side again, pops off the bag, able to tag it was Gabby Sable. And right into her glove. Good play and reaction by Sable.
Hey, 2 outs, please here.
One of the tough things about corners playing back behind the bases is when the ball goes right down that line, it could hit the base like it does right there, but look at how Sable is tracking that thing all the way up, able to secure it and get that out over at first base. Such a tough play that she makes look easy.
Jenna Dittmer. Woo! Making Matt Schuckman duck. I mean, that was like, wait a minute, coming in.
Man, this one's a hard line drive off the bat of Jenna Dittmer, making him work over there.
Waiting for that one. The off-speed offering, grounded back to O'Neal, and that's ball game in a must-win situation. It's New Jersey that shuts out Indiana. And in their 4th try, they're able to pick up a win and a gritty performance by Aaliyah O'Neal, the unquestioned leader of this team.
So gutsy by O'Neal. You can see that she is in pain. That ball definitely hit her in the fingers, but she didn't let it stop her from helping her team get this must-win into the win column.
And guess what? New Jersey will have the day off tomorrow and await to see how things shake out. But remember, you want to come right back here at 4 Eastern because we've got another great one on the way, Virginia and Texas. Remember, all games airing on the ESPN networks, streaming live and also archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Backs against the wall, New Jersey comes away with a 2-0 shutout victory over Indiana.